Hi.
Hi.
A long time no see.
Yeah.
How have you been? How's everything?
It's great, but although now it's now it's we have COVID-19 pandemic in the world, and it's if it interfere my work a lot. Yeah, but
you've been really busy, right?
No, it doesn't, because currently in Taiwan, we do not have lots of patients from community. So actually, my workloading is less than before. And for example, before the pandemic, I have to work a whole day, but now I just need to work half a day.
Just half a day?
Yeah.
So because it's good for you then.
Yeah, right. Because because a lot of patients, they are afraid of, they're worried about going to hospital. So actually we have less patients currently, and because in Taiwan we do not have severe a lot of patients with COVID-19. So our hospital is still work very well. It's not overloaded.
Okay, that's good. And good for you then. Okay, hey everyone is here today. Okay, so I just want to jump right in. Everyone, so everyone knows me, right? But you don't know each other. So I would like you guys to give a really brief introduction, maybe 30 seconds, about what you're doing right now, why you want to join this class, and what you hope to get out of this new group lesson. Okay, so Evan, let's start with you.
Oh, hi. My name is Evan, and I'm a doctor. I work in a medical center in Taipei, in northern Taiwan, and actually I have hold the class for about half a year, and because I really want to practice my English conversation, and currently because of the pandemic of COVID-19. In our my workloading is less than before, so I have the time to join the class. And nice to meet you.
Great. Okay, next one is Billy. Billy, please introduce yourself.
Okay, everyone, I'm Billy. I work at a telecom company. It's called Firestone. Maybe you know 远传电信. And I have about 20 years experience in this industry. The purpose of studying English is I want to enhance my listening ability and to increase my speaking English, because sometimes I have the chance need to meet my vendors, my clients. Those are people from American or European. Yeah, that's all. And very happy to meet everyone. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Billy. Brian.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brian. I'm a software engineer. I work in the semiconductor company. I want to improve my conversation skill because I have some chances to meet the foreign clients from different countries like Japan or America. So I think this is the reason why I want to improve my English skill. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks so much. Okay, so remember, if we say you want to talk about country, it's America, and Americans are the people. Okay, yeah. Great. Okay, let's move on to learn English while reading the news. So this is the most popular topic. Obviously, of course, we're going to talk about it today. Okay, so for warm up, what do you know about the coronavirus? I'm not going to ask Evan. This is his professional. Billy, what do you know about it?
It is a bad virus. It's a harmful virus which will damage our breath system and destroy our immune protection to cause death.
Okay, Evan, what can you tell us more or improvise on Billy's answer?
Yeah. The coronavirus is a kind of special virus species that has lots of spikes on its membrane. So that is why it's called coronavirus, and it can damage our respiratory system, and it might cause a cytokine storm, and that might cause a severe condition, and cause mortality or fatality. And actually, it's actually the rate of the mortality and or of the severe disease is not very high, but if it infected lots of patients, the number will be an amazing number.
Okay. So Brian, do you know what is the 5W and 1H?
5W are when, what, where, who, and which.
Okay. And
H is how.
How, okay. So first we talked about what is it, okay? So when did it start happening? Do you know what, around what time? Brian?
Me?
Yeah, do you know?
I remember the coronavirus is happened past in this January.
It's January.
And yeah, and it is in this January.
Okay, right. So the coronavirus started, we can say started at it was near like the end of January. Is that correct, Evan?
No, actually, it's happened in about the first case is in the end of November. Yeah, and we know that in China, in Wuhan, there might be some patient with the unknown cause of pneumonia. It's in December. That's the year December. And
okay, pneumonia.
Yeah,
pneumonia.
yeah.
Sorry, I don't think everyone knows what pneumonia is. Can you explain what is pneumonia?
Yeah, and pneumonia means inflammation of the lungs. We call that in medical terms pneumonia.
Okay, everyone knows what the lungs are, right? What we breathe with, right? Okay, respiratory. So this is something you're going to hear a lot from the news. It's the breathing system that we have. Great. So where did this happen, Billy? Where did this happen?
You mean where or when?
Where?
According to the report, I think it's happened in Wuhan, in China, and it was a traditional market.
Okay, traditional market. We have traditional market. I heard of it came from bats. I heard of it's a chemical weapon. Okay, so let's talk very briefly. Evan, what do you think? Where did it come from? What do you believe?
Yeah, my friend is a doctor of infection department, and he had an idea. He said that the virus might spread from a lab, but he did not believe that in China they have the ability to make or create a new virus. They think the virus might live in the bat or other kind of animal for a while, but some people in that lab, they sell the animal illegally. So that's why the virus was spread into the human population.
Oh, okay. What about Brian? What do you think? Where do you think the coronavirus came from?
I agree with Billy. I think it is from China, Wuhan.
Okay. Do you think it came from bats? Do you think it's a chemical weapon that China made and it got spread? Yes? You think it's a chemical weapon?
Yes.
Okay. Well, everyone has their own ideas. Okay, it's great. So let's continue on with the first part. Talking about before reading it, did everyone read it already? Did you guys read the article?
Oh,
Yeah.
I read it. Yeah, but I read very quickly. So maybe I forget something.
Okay, so the true and false activity is for usually before reading it. So you can take a guess at what are these facts, true or false. So this one I'm just going to skip for now. This is something you can do. Synonym match is for you guys to look at the vocabulary, okay? So this is when we're doing and looking over the article. So first, I would like everyone to have a chance to read the article. So each person will read one sentence. So we'll go over it all together. So Evan will start with the first sentence, and then Billy, and then Brian. So finish your sentence, and then the next person will start. Okay? Right.
Japan and Hong Kong have closed their elementary, junior high, and high schools until April.
Government said they want to protect children from the COVID-19 coronavirus.
Schools in Japan will remain closed until April the 5th. Which is the start of the new school year.
Okay.
Children in Hong Kong will return to school on April the 20th at the earliest.
Parents are now worried about the school closures.
Working parents have to think about how to care for younger children.
Grandparents will look after many children while their parents go to work.
However, many children have no grandparents to extended family who live nearby.
Parents may have to pay for expensive child care fees.
Okay. Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe shut the country's schools after a meeting of Japan's antivirus task force.
He said the next 2 weeks are critical to control the spread of COVID-19.
He wants to stem the risk of many children and teachers becoming infected through gathering for long hours every day.
The government said it would urge public service and private companies to make it easier for people to take time off work to look after their children.
An angry mother said, "I wonder if the government thinks it's okay to leave children at home alone for long hours."
She asked, what's the point of closing schools if parents are still commuting in package trains in which passengers may have coronavirus-19?
Okay, we call it COVID. COVID-19 is the short form. Good, very good. Okay, so from what I hear, I'm actually listening to how you are pronouncing and doing the intonation. Okay, so today I think Billy did the best job. Why do you think I chose Billy? Can Brian or Evan, can you think about why? What did he do that is a little bit different? Or what did he try to do with his voice?
Because he has stress on some words.
Right. So he stresses certain words. So it's not just a monotone. Do, 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 do. He has a very, very, you can hear it and it's really clear. So when we're doing the article, I don't just want you guys to read it. Try to use the stress. you need to emphasize the stress. So this is kind of like public speaking. It's not just reading, okay? So the stress of reading an article is very important. So really good job, everyone. Okay, so Billy did a really good job. So I just want you guys to take a look at some of the words. Which is, okay, will look after. And this is or, not of, okay? People will take time off. What does that mean? People will take time off. Brian?
People can ask for leave to take care of their children.
Okay, so they need to ask for leave to take care of the children. Okay, so why is the mother angry here? We have at the end, angry mother. Why is she angry? Billy, can you tell us?
Because when parents are in the office, they don't have the time to take care of their children because their children just live at home.
Right, to take care of their children, right, of their children, right. And what does she say at the end? What's the point of closing schools if parents are still commuting in packed trains? So Evan, what can you say about this?
Yeah, it means though we close in the school to make social distance of in the children, but the parents, they still need to commuting in packed trains, and it has a lot of risk for get the virus. So
right.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think, Brian? Do you think that going on a public transportation is more dangerous or going to school?
Both.
Both? If you could choose one, you only can support one side. And tell me why.
If I have to choose one, I prefer the public transportation because it is packed.
Okay, it's packed. We don't say packed, packed.
It's packed.
Okay, Evan, what do you think? Do you agree with Brian saying that public transportation is more serious?
I agree with Brian. I think the distance is more important in this issue.
Okay, so public transportation is going to cause more cases than children going to school.
I think if the school, they have the sense, they might make a reasonable arrangement for the desks of the children. For example, in our hospital, we now wrote that the patient, when they wait for a clinic, when they wait out in a clinic, they need to have the seats have a longer distance than before. Yeah, so I think a school can do so, but in a packed train, you can't. It's very difficult to have a long distance with other people.
Okay, I see Billy is nodding his head. Okay, so Billy, what do you have to say? You agree with Evan?
Yes, I think it's to stay at school, to study in school is more safer than to take the public transportation.
Okay, great. Okay, and a good way, if you want to think, Taiwanese people will say if you want to speak like a native, people will say okay. So if you want, we say okay, we don't say because is very obvious. It's Taiwanese, not native. Okay, so everyone learned that. Okay, that is a trick. I have a Korean. My boss used to be Korean. He learned English for only 2 years. He learned a lot of tricks. When people say like, also. These are words that are there. We call them filler words. They're there so people can think. I can think. I said, and then I'm thinking. It's a trick. Okay?
Okay.
That. Okay, so let's have a discussion here. What should we do to reduce the risk of catching the virus? Okay, I will ask Evan to answer this question.
Yeah, we can have lots of measures. First, we need to have social distance, and that means we need to, for example, yesterday our government announced that if people in outside, they have to have a distance with 1.5 meters with other people. And if you are inside, you need to have a 1 meter distance with other people. And the second, we need to frequent washing our hands. And in the third, if you have the chance to go to somewhere where with a higher risk for catching the virus, you need to wear a mask.
Great. Okay, Brian, what can you add to that? What else can we do?
I think the most useful method is that everyone stay at home.
Everyone stay at home? Some people need to work.
Yeah. So the distance between peoples are more than 1.5 meter.
Right. Okay, so you think that everyone should just stay at home?
Yeah, stay at home or work from home. I think it's a useful way, but I'm not sure is it happen? I'm not sure does the doctor can do it.
Right. So is it possible? What about Billy? What do you think about Brian's suggestion?
Totally agree. Besides, wear mask when we are in a closed place or in public, and I think do exercise and drink more water.
I love it.
Yeah,
Right.
is also are a good protection methods to protect ourselves.
That's great. Yes, I was just going to say that. I saw a lot of people waiting in line to get the masks. And my question to myself was, why are you not spending this time to boost your immune system by exercising, by doing something else other than relying on masks? What do you think, Evan? Do you think that we should be trying to boost our immune systems, or do you still think that mask is like the way we should prevent the coronavirus?
Yeah, I think the immune system is to boost immune system is very controversial, because we know that immune system is very important for us to against the virus. But if we have a too strong immune system, it might cause a lot of damage in our organ, because our immune system wants to kill all the virus, and at the same time it will damage our immune system. So it's still controversial, but I think one important thing is to reduce weight, because we all know that last week in Taiwan we have young people they died from the COVID-19,
Right.
and actually he has a risk factor that he is overweight. And in lots of study, we know that in the flu, lots of some young people they died from flu. Lots of them is because they are overweight. So overweight is a risk factor.
Oh,
Overweight.
wow.
Oh, okay.
Right. Oh, he's overweight. What is the standard? Like, how do you know if you're overweight?
It means the BMI more than 25.
Oh, okay, BMI. Looking at the BMI. Okay. Wow. Okay, I didn't know that. Something new to learn. Thanks so much, Evan. Great. Okay, number 2. What do you think of the school closures? Brian, what do you think?
School closure.
So many schools are being closed down. I have a student in Hong Kong not going to school, in Korea. These schools are all closed. How can they keep up with their work?
If the school closer, the teacher should provide the new teaching method from offline to online.
Okay.
Just like we do now.
Right. Okay, so Billy, you have some daughters. What do you think about this? Your daughters, if their school closed, will it affect their schoolwork?
I think not really, because right now the technology is very how to say
Advanced.
Advanced. We can use the video conference to attend a class, to interact with each other. So maybe we have an other good choice to solve the problem. Can you
okay,
see?
right?
You see, right now we are also to learn to study English with a video conference, and I think the technology is very good.
Okay.
So
and
the most important is that because I work as a telecom company, we can earn more money.
Oh, for you to earn more money.
Yeah, you know,
okay,
right now,
I got it.
a lot of enterprise and want to extend their broadband, their bandwidth.
Right. They need very high speed. Okay, got it.
Yes, yeah.
Great. Okay, great. Thanks for the update there. Okay, so what else should the government close? Evan, what do you think? What are some places that you think is super dangerous or is where the virus is? It's a really common place for viruses to spread.
I think the government to close all the amused store or shop like bar or movie theater or department store.
Department stores. I know Taipei 101 has started to shorten their hours, but they're still open.
Yeah, it might be fewer people now, but sometimes you know that lots of people they how to say that they for maybe there words to maybe more accurate, but I mean that for example in the beginning of the pandemic in China, and lots of people they are fear about the virus, and they don't want to go, they didn't want to go to outside, but but in March or for example maybe the tomorrow we have a vacation, and I heard that lots of people they have a travel to in Taiwan, in other county. So I mean that I think people might have fewer diligence. I think the word right, diligence. I forget it.
Yeah, they don't have diligence. They're just still going to go and travel. You think that they should just stay home?
Yeah,
that's going to spread for sure. Okay, so what is your government doing? So Billy, do you know anything else that the government has been doing because of the COVID-19? Can you name one thing? Each of you can name one thing.
I think our government is very good and do a lot of good policy to executive to protect us. Social distance, it's very good.
Great. Okay, Brian, one. Give me one policy you think is good.
Provide a mask.
Okay, they're providing masks, right? And they're making it more convenient, right? You can even use it or buy it online. Great. Okay, Evan, what do you think? What is the best policy you think the government has announced so far?
I think in the beginning they forced all people, they mitigate the airlines from China, and they have and we only open our airport to 4 cities in China. And if people they want to they back to Taiwan, they need to have isolated in a isolation center. I think it's quite important.
Right. So we call it quarantine, right?
Yeah,
that is a new word. Okay,
Quarantine.
Yes, everyone should know this word. It's called quarantine. What does it mean? What does quarantine mean? Can Brian, do you know what quarantine is?
It means the people stay at home. They cannot go out, right?
Right. But why do people need to be in quarantine?
Because they have possibility to get the virus.
Right. There is a possibility that they might carry the virus. But now, this is the thing, right?
Yeah.
When can people carry the virus if they have no symptoms, Evan?
Excuse me,
I'm asking you, if you have no, like I have no fever, is it possible that I still have the virus?
Currently we found that it is possible, and about 1/3 of patients they do not have symptoms.
They don't have symptoms.
Yeah.
Then why? Yeah, one third.
1/3. Wow, my God.
Then why are they at the hospital?
Yeah, because in Taiwan, because we find these patients because they might have the history contact with the patient who was diagnosed with COVID-19. Okay,
right. Okay, so I want you guys to learn also this other word is called incubation. We call it the incubation period. What does it mean? It means right now I am good, I'm well, I don't have any fever, I don't have any symptoms. From the day maybe I have the virus till getting or having a fever. This period could be 2 to 14 days, right? Yeah. So this is the time when it's still contagious. That is why it is so deadly, because even if you don't have a fever, you carry the virus, you can pass it on to the next person. In the air, I remember that 3 hours, it will maintain in the air for 3 hours. That is why we all need to wash our hands. Don't touch your face with unclean hands, okay? And all of the alcohol spray, right? Okay, good. So how can students keep up with their studies? Brian, do you have any good ideas if they're not going to school? How can they keep up with their studies?
They can they can study online.
Online, okay.
Yeah.
Billy, what do you think?
Yeah, just we can use the technology, video conference.
Video conference, right?
Study.
Use your products. Okay, use your products to study.
Yeah.
Okay, any new ideas? Evan, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, maybe we can appoint some homework, and they need to finish it when they're back to school. So maybe they need to search some information or read some books to finish the report. Okay,
so a lot of the classrooms are online now. What are some let's say, what are some disadvantages that you think may cause some problems? Does anyone, Billy, what do you think? Do you think this will cause any problems? Telling the students to, hey, study online or online classroom?
I think some several disadvantages in studying online. For example, the teacher cannot understand other guide students really understanding what I want to deliver. It's very important. You don't know how the students really focus on the class, or just listening to the video or the class or the teacher. But on the other hand, playing the computer or online game, you cannot understand.
Okay, you don't know what they're doing, if they're being focused or not, if they are taking in what the teachers are telling them.
Yes.
Right. Okay, number 6, what should parents do if they have to work all day? Brian, what do you think they should do? What are they going to do with these kids?
You mean kids stay at home?
Yeah, what are the parents supposed to do if they have to work?
They can install the monitor at home.
Okay.
And use their phone to monitor their kids.
Okay, use the phone to monitor their kids.
Yeah, right now my coworker, he always use this kind of technology to monitor his kids.
Wow. Okay, so he's leaving his kids at home, making sure they're doing their schoolwork.
Yeah.
Okay, that's smart. Good. More technology for Billy. Okay, hand washing role play. So here we're going to do a role play. Okay, we're going to pretend, and this is our topic. So you think that hand washing is the best thing to avoid COVID-19? Okay, I'm going to assign hand washing to Evan. Okay, everyone's going to get something different. Billy, you think that self-quarantine is the most important. Okay, and Brian, you think wearing a mask is the most important. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds to think about your debate. You're debating against each other. You need to convince each other yours is the most important, and you need to tell me why. Okay, I'm going to listen to your debates, and I'm going to choose one. I'm going to choose who's the winner today. Okay, so you need to have some examples to support your answer. Okay, everyone thinking? Okay, it's only going to be 20 seconds now. Okay, so hand washing. Evan, let's go. Hand washing. Why is hand washing the most important?
Yeah. First, we know that the virus can be carried on lots of objects like the desk or something you touch, and it's so if our hands touch that the object that with the virus, we might have a risk to get the virus. So washing hands is very important to protect ourselves. And the second, it's also very important to protect other people, because if you have this virus and your hands might be, maybe you have a sneeze sometimes and your hands might have the virus on it. So if you touch other things, you might spread this virus out. And yeah, and the third one, I think wash hands, it can also protect our immune system because there are other pathogens in our world. So if you wash hands, you do not only to protect yourself from the COVID-19, but also other pathogens like the flu or some bacteria. Yeah.
Okay,
so
great.
That's my idea. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thanks, Evan. Okay, before Billy starts, everyone has one vote. I have one vote. Okay, everyone has one vote. They will vote to the person they think won. Okay, see who won today. So, Billy, okay, why is self-quarantine the most important?
First, self-quarantine can protect yourself. If you stay at home, it's very simple reason. Second, if you stay at home and if you carry the virus and you can avoid to spread the disease, the virus to others. The last, if there are no one appear on the street, and I think the virus does not have the chance to exist, to survive in the environment. I think self-quarantine is the best way to protect other people and to avoid spread the disease.
Okay.
That's all.
Thank you. Okay, Brian, why is wearing a mask the most important?
In my opinion, I think at first, it can protect yourself and others. And second, if you wear the mask, you can walk in the office or take the public transportation. You won't be afraid of get the virus. And the last one, I think, right now, the last one, I think if you wear the mask, if you wear the mask, and we already saw some news. In some countries, if you don't wear the mask, you cannot shopping in the mall or in the supermarket. So the conclusion is that I think wearing the mask is the most important thing.
Okay, to go shopping. Go shopping. Great. Okay, so Evan, who do you think made the most persuasive argument here? Who do you give? You can give it to yourself if you think yours is the most solid.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Actually, I'll choose self-quarantine.
Self-quarantine.
Yeah.
Why?
Because if we do not consider the impact on economics, a self-quarantine for everyone, I think, is the best way to prevent the virus spread. Okay,
so you choose self-quarantine, but do you choose Billy's argument? You're choosing the argument, right? You're not choosing the one you think. Okay, so this is based on his argument. Do you think it is the strongest? Okay, so.
Yeah, I think I think there may be some, there is also a weak point in self-quarantine. Yeah, if you just have self-quarantine and you don't wash your hand, you still have a chance to get virus because you don't know in your in the environment you stay, is there any virus there? Is there any virus? So if you don't wash hands and you just have self-quarantine, you still have the chance to catch the virus and so that you get the disease.
Okay, so if you don't wash your hands, not just wash hands, wash your hands. Okay, so this sounds to me like you're trying to persuade Billy to vote for you. So are you voting for Billy or are you voting for yourself?
Yeah, so this time I'll vote for myself.
I knew it. Okay, Billy, who do you give the vote to?
Evan.
Evan, please give your reason why. Based on his argument, why do you feel it's the strongest?
I think Evan speaks logically, and the reasons are very strong. So I vote to him.
Okay, I vote for him.
Okay, I vote for him.
I give my vote to him. You can give something to him, your vote. Okay. Brian, what about you? What do you think? Do you vote for yourself, Billy, or Evan?
I vote for Evan because first he persuaded me, and the second thing, he is the doctor. I think his theory is right.
Okay, so because of his role, you think he's more persuasive telling us about this. Okay,
Yes.
I actually will also vote for Evan, not because he's a doctor, but because we have practiced this a lot during our classes and he has not forgotten it. So I'm going to make a point here. So in English, usually when we were writing essays, we were practicing about how to write a TOEFL essay. Okay, so this is the structure he has used, and this is why he is so logical. First, he gives his point, right? Why I think hand washing is the best way to avoid the COVID-19. He gives 3 points, and then he uses very specific examples of how these examples support his points. So that is why his argument, you heard, firstly, secondly, thirdly, and then we know that he supports washing his hands because of these 3 main points and the reason. Okay, so this is a really good way. We're going to do more role play for next week or for all of the classes. I think this is a really good practice for you guys. I want to hear you guys share each other's opinions and to give each other's ideas. So it's not just me talking, it's you talking to each other and how you can help each other to improve, because that is why a group lesson is such a good way for each and every one of you to share your ideas and to learn from each other. Okay, great. So before we leave, let's see if we have more time. Okay, we still have some time. So did you all have a chance to finish this homework? Yes, everyone did that. Okay, so this is something that you can also do at home. So next time I'm also going to give you guys the homework. Okay, the homework is going to be about a different topic. Before reading it, these are the practices that you can do. You can take a look at true and false. First, you can just write down what you think. So this is just a guess. And then after you read it, you can look over it again to see if you got the answers correct. Okay, so this is a really good practice for you to sort of think about what the article would be talking about. Synonym match. Okay, so what is a synonym? Evan, can you tell me what is a synonym?
Means the words with the same meaning.
Great. Okay, so based on these words from the article, we would match them up with one of these words. So this is for you to remember words. Okay, one of the really good ways to remember words is to link the words you already know with so a new word, link it with an old one, because our mind is like a map. Okay, it has lots of extensions. So if you think about COVID-19, today you learned, what did you learn today? Okay, think of a word, Evan, a word we talked about today.
Quarantine.
Quarantine. Okay, good. Billy.
pneumonia. Pneumonia.
How do
How
you
to
say
say
it, Evan?
Pneumonia.
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 Okay.
Okay, great. Brian.
Quarantine and I forgot.
You forgot the word? What does the word mean?
It means
I know the Brian want to deliver incubation, right?
yeah.
Incubation. Oh, yeah.
Incubation period, right? What does that mean? Let Brian answer.
A period of time and 14 days.
So what is the condition before 14 days? Is it good or bad?
Good.
Good. And then
Yeah.
after 14 days, what happens to the person?
Infected.
Okay, so we have some symptoms. Evan, what are some symptoms of the coronavirus?
You might have fever, cough, and feel weakness. And I once share you with a very special symptom. That someone they say they would lose their taste.
Lose their taste or their senses, right?
Yes,
Sense.
yes.
Okay, Billy, what are the 5 senses? Before we go, 5 senses. Does anyone want to help him? What are the 5 senses?
5 sentence.
Senses.
Senses.
What are the...
I can catch the meaning. Senses. What is senses?
Oh, what is senses? Okay. Does anyone know what are the 5 senses? So we have
Like,
the
hearing,
Hearing.
yeah, taste and sight.
sight.
Yeah.
So what are the 5? Okay, we
Odor.
got sight,
Yeah.
hearing,
Hearing, odor,
odor. What is odor?
or that's the, or how to say that? Smell.
Okay, odor is the smell, the odor.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
what else?
taste.
Good. Okay, good job. So those are the 5 senses. So they say that recently people with the coronavirus, they maybe lose their taste. Like when they eat something, like, I don't taste it. It's not sweet. Then why are we eating this? Right? They're like, oh my God. Yeah. So that's a really good one. And I remember there's one called shortness of breath because it's the lungs. You're like, right? Shortness of breath. Okay. So good. So this is what we want to link it with. Okay. COVID-19 symptom, cough, shortness of breath, fever, and lose your senses. Okay. So these are different things. And then senses, you can link it with other words. Okay. Great. So
Okay.
end of today's class. Does anyone have any questions before we leave?
No? Great.
No? Okay, great. If you guys have any questions, you can email me. I will be emailing you guys the lesson for the next class. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Evan, Billy, and Brian. I will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.